You might think darts is a simple game, but not when Michael van Gerwen steps up to the oche. This Dutch dynamo has been shattering records and dropping jaws since he was a teenager. In this video, we're counting down MVG's most mind-blowing moments. From 9-darters to nail-biting finals, these are the times van Gerwen left fans and rivals in awe. Number 1. Youngest player to hit a televised 9-darter, 2007. It's 2007, and a fresh-faced 17-year-old Michael van Gerwen steps onto the stage at the Masters of Darts tournament. Little did anyone know they were about to witness history in the making. MVG started the tournament with a bang, beating 13-time world champion Phil Taylor 3-0. But it was in his semi-final match against Raymond van Barneveld where he truly left his mark. Down 3-1 in sets, van Gerwen did the unthinkable. At just 17 years and 298 days old, he became the youngest player ever to hit a televised 9-darter. But here's the kicker, he did it in style. Instead of the usual 180 start, MVG threw a 174, followed by a 180, and then checked out 147. It was an unconventional route that showcased his unique talent. This moment wasn't just about the 9-darter though, it was a glimpse into the future of darts. Van Gerwen went on to win the next 3 sets, taking a 4-3 lead. Though he ultimately lost the match, he had announced his arrival on the big stage in spectacular fashion. This record-breaking moment set the tone for van Gerwen's career. It was clear that this wasn't just another talented youngster, this was a player who was going to change the game. And as we'll see, this was just the beginning of MVG's journey to darts superstardom. Speaking of changing the game, wait until you hear about the night MVG turned the dartboard into his personal playground and left even the most seasoned pros in awe. Number 2. Record-breaking average against Michael Smith, 2016. Fast forward to 2016, and Michael van Gerwen is no longer the plucky teenager. He's a force of nature. On night 4 of the Premier League in Aberdeen, MVG put on a performance that can only be described as otherworldly. Facing Michael Smith, van Gerwen started strong and never let up. From the very first dart, it was clear something special was happening. At one point, he was averaging a mind-boggling 136 during a failed 9-dart attempt in the 5th leg. As the match progressed, the crowd watched in disbelief. Van Gerwen took a 6-0 lead, barely breaking a sweat. Even when he finally missed 3 darts at double 18, allowing Smith to avoid a whitewash, it hardly mattered. When the dust settled, MVG had won 7-1 with an average of 123.4. Let that sink in. 123.4. It wasn't just a win, it was a demolition. This shattered the previous record of 118.66, held by the legendary Phil Taylor. To put this in perspective, most professional players are happy with an average in the high 90s. Hitting over 100 is considered excellent, but 123.4, that's in a league of its own. This performance wasn't just about numbers though. It was a display of pure dominance that left fans and fellow players alike in awe. It was the kind of night that makes you wonder if you're watching the same sport as everyone else. But if you think that was impressive, hold on to your flights, because MVG was about to take his game to an even bigger stage and leave the darting world speechless once again. Number 3. Highest average at the PDC World Championship, 2017. The PDC World Championship is the biggest stage in darts. It's where legends are made and dreams are shattered. In 2017, Michael van Gerwen turned it into his personal playground. In the semi-final, MVG faced off against 5-time world champion Raymond van Barneveld. What followed was not just a match, but a masterclass in darts excellence. Over 8 grueling sets, van Gerwen maintained an average of 114.05. Let that sink in. In the pressure cooker of a World Championship semi-final against one of the best players in the world, MVG averaged 114.05. It wasn't just the highest average in World Championship history, it was a statement. But here's where it gets even more incredible. Van Barneveld, in what would normally be a winning performance, averaged 109.34. It's the highest losing average in the World Championship history. The combined average of 223.39 is also a record. This wasn't just a win, it was a showcase of two players pushing each other to the absolute limit of what's possible in darts. Van Gerwen's performance was so dominant that even a five-time world champion playing at the top of his game couldn't keep up. This match is often referred to as one of the greatest ever played. It's a testament to Van Gerwen's ability to elevate his game when it matters most, to find another gear when most players would be running on empty. But if you think hitting stratospheric averages is impressive, wait until you hear about the night MVG came within a whisker of achieving the near impossible. Number 4. Almost achieving back-to-back 9-darters 2013. It's the 2013 World Darts Championship semi-final. Michael Van Gerwen is facing James Wade, and he's already 3-1 up in sets. What happened next was nothing short of miraculous. In the 5th set, MVG stepped up and threw 9 perfect darts. A 9-darter on the biggest stage in darts. The crowd erupted, but Van Gerwen wasn't done. As the cheers were still ringing out, he stepped up for the next leg, 180. The crowd held its breath. Another 180. The impossible suddenly seemed possible. Could he actually do it? Back-to-back 9-darters. Van Gerwen nailed the treble 20, then the treble 19, 1 dart away from immortality. The entire Alexandra Palace was on its feet, but the double 12 just wouldn't go in. 17 perfect darts in a row, but the 18th just wouldn't cooperate. Even though he missed, this remains one of the most incredible moments in darts history. No player has ever hit back-to-back 9-darters in a televised match. Van Gerwen came as close as anyone ever has. This moment encapsulates everything that makes MVG special. The skill to hit a 9-darter, the mental strength to immediately try for another, the sheer audacity to even attempt it on such a huge stage. It's moments like these that separate the great players from the legends. Van Gerwen might have missed that final double 12, but in those 2 legs, he showed why he's considered one of the greatest to ever pick up a dart. But MVG's journey was far from over. In fact, his biggest triumph was yet to come. Number 5. Winning his first PDC World Championship, 2014. Every great player's journey has a defining moment, and for Michael Van Gerwen, that moment came in 2014. After years of promise and near misses, MVG finally reached the pinnacle of the sport, winning his first PDC World Championship. At just 24 years old, Van Gerwen became the youngest player ever to lift the Sid Waddell Trophy. But it wasn't just the fact that he won, it was how he did it. In the final, MVG faced Peter Wright, a seasoned pro known for his flamboyant style. What followed was a masterclass in darts dominance. Van Gerwen stormed out of the gates, taking a commanding 4-0 lead. The scoreline doesn't do justice to how one-sided it was. MVG was averaging over 108 for much of the match, leaving Wright shell-shocked. Wright, to his credit, fought back. He won 3 of the next 4 sets, bringing the score to 5-3. For a moment, it looked like we might witness one of the greatest comebacks in World Championship history. But Van Gerwen wasn't about to let his dreams slip away. With steely determination, MVG closed out the match 7-4. His final average of 100.10 was the highest in a World Championship final since Phil Taylor in 2009. It was a performance that announced Van Gerwen not just as a champion, but as the new dominant force in darts. This victory was more than just a title, it was the culmination of years of hard work, the fulfillment of the potential he'd shown since that 9-darter as a teenager. It was the moment Michael Van Gerwen truly arrived. But MVG wasn't content with just one world title. This was just the beginning of his reign at the top of the darting world. And as we'll see, he was about to embark on a run of dominance that would cement his place in the pantheon of darts legends. Speaking of dominance, our next moment shows how Van Gerwen didn't just win tournaments, he rewrote the record books. Number 6. Breaking the record for most Premier League titles, 2023. Fast forward to 2023, and Michael van Gerwen is no longer the young upstart. He's a seasoned champion with multiple world titles under his belt, but he still had one more record in his sights: the most Premier League titles. Going into the 2023 Premier League, MVG was tied with Phil Taylor at 6 titles each. The stage was set for van Gerwen to make history, and he didn't disappoint. In a gripping final against Gerwyn Price, MVG showcased why he's considered one of the greatest ever. The match was a rollercoaster of emotion, with both players trading blows like heavyweight boxers. Van Gerwen started strong, racing to a 4-2 lead, but it wasn't just the lead that was impressive, it was how he got there. In the 6th leg, MVG pulled off a spectacular 170 checkout, the highest possible finish in darts. It was a statement of intent that left Price reeling. But the Iceman wasn't going down without a fight. He clawed his way back, even pulling off a 161 checkout of his own. For a moment, it looked like the match could go either way. That's when van Gerwen shifted into another gear. He reeled off a string of high-quality legs, including a breathtaking 150 checkout that all but sealed the deal. When the dust settled, MVG had won 11-5, averaging an impressive 105.43 to Price's 99.5. With this victory, van Gerwen claimed his 7th Premier League title, breaking Taylor's record and further cementing his legacy as one of the all-time greats. It wasn't just the number of titles that was impressive, it was the consistency. To win 7 titles in a tournament featuring the world's best players year after year is a testament to van Gerwen's skill, mental strength, and longevity. But if you think MVG saves his best performances for the big stage, wait until you hear about the night he turned a small tournament into his personal showcase. Number 7. Players' Championship Finals Record Average, 2022. Just when you think you've seen it all from Michael van Gerwen, he goes and does something that leaves even the most seasoned darts observers speechless. That's exactly what happened at the 2022 Players' Championship Finals. In his round of 32 match against Ross Smith, MVG put on a performance that could only be described as otherworldly. From the moment he stepped up to the oche, it was clear something special was happening. Van Gerwen won the match 6-1, but it's not the scoreline that made headlines. It was his average. MVG finished the match with an average of 118.52. Let that sink in. 118.52. It's the highest average ever recorded in the history of the Players' Championship Finals. To put this into perspective, most professional players are thrilled with an average over 100. Anything over 110 is considered exceptional. But 118.52, well, that's in a league of its own. What makes this even more impressive is the consistency. Van Gerwen hit 6 of his 7 attempts at doubles, with his only miss coming on double 16 in the final leg. He only threw 3 180s in the entire match, showing that his scoring was consistently high across the board, not just reliant on maximum scores. The reaction of his opponent, Ross Smith, said it all. As Van Gerwen hit the winning double, Smith could only shake his head in disbelief before bowing to MVG in a gesture of respect. It was a moment that encapsulated the awe that Van Gerwen can inspire when he's at his best. Interestingly, after the match, MVG claimed he was only playing at about 90% of his best. It's a scary thought for his opponents. If this is Van Gerwen at 90%, what does 100% look like? But as we're about to see, even the greatest players have moments of vulnerability, and sometimes those moments can come when you least expect them. Number 8. UK Open Final Upset, 2023. In the world of darts, Michael van Gerwen is often seen as unbeatable when he's on form. But in March 2023, at the UK Open Final, fans were reminded that in this sport, anything can happen. Van Gerwen came into the tournament as the heavy favourite. He was in blistering form, having won 3 consecutive nights in the Premier League just before the UK Open. Many were expecting another MVG masterclass. In the final, he faced Andrew Gilding, a player ranked 41st in the world at the time. On paper, it looked like a mismatch, but as the match unfolded, it became clear we were witnessing something special. Gilding matched Van Gerwen dart for dart. The lead changed hands multiple times, with neither player able to pull away. As the match entered its final stages, the tension in the arena was palpable. With the scores level at 10-10, it all came down to a single leg. Both players had chances to win, but it was Gilding who held his nerve, hitting double top to secure an 11-10 victory and the biggest title of his career. The upset sent shockwaves through the darting world. Van Gerwen, who had seemed invincible just days before, had been beaten in a major final by a player ranked outside the top 40. This moment serves as a reminder of the unpredictable nature of darts. No matter how good a player is, on any given day, anyone can beat anyone. It's what makes the sport so thrilling to watch. For Van Gerwen, it was a rare setback in a career filled with triumphs. But in many ways, moments like these only add to his legend. They show that even the greatest players face challenges, and it's how they respond to these setbacks that truly defines them. And respond he did. Just months after this defeat, MVG went on to win his record-breaking 7th Premier League title, proving once again why he's considered one of the greatest to ever play the game. And there you have it, folks. 8 unforgettable moments from Michael Van Gerwen's career. At just 34 years old, though, his story is far from over. Who knows what incredible feats we'll see from him in the years to come. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time, keep those darts flying straight.